As China's economy has prospered in recent years, its citizens have increasingly moved to the big cities, in keeping with the country's relentless drive towards urbanisation. A knock-on effect of this migration is that Chinese people have started to live increasingly sedentary and inactive lifestyles, leading to concerns over the physical fitness of today's youth. To emphasize the problem, the Chinese sportswear brand Xidelong's financial results for the last quarter of 2012 showed a 50% year-on-year decline in sales. And the declining physical fitness of today's college students is further emphasized by the cancellation of long-distance races at several university games. According to a Xinhua report, more than 30 universities in Xi'an no longer hold long-distance races because of the decline in students' physical fitness, leading to concerns the students may suffer injury or even death if they took part in intense physical activity. The report quoted a PhD candidate specializing in physical education research, who claimed that, over an 8-year period, more than 40 participants in long-distance running events aged 16 and over had died suddenly. While Chinese universities traditionally require students to pass a physical fitness test in order to graduate, many students are allegedly begging instructors to pass them because they're not healthy or fit enough to pass on their own. In response to concerning stories like these, in 2011, China's State Council unveiled a health plan with the aim of ensuring that at least 1/3 of China's population undertook 30 minutes of exercise 3 times a week. So how do Chinese net users feel about the physical condition of the country's citizens? And do they feel the government's latest fitness drive has worked to any degree? To find out more, let's cross over to the newsroom and our researcher, Julia Liu. Hi, Julia. Well, first of all, do net users agree that the fitness of Chinese people has declined in recent years? What are people saying?
Hi, Michael. Well, it seems that many net users have expressed their surprise at the rather weak condition of many Chinese people. Well, this poster says on Tianya.cn, I don't get it. While China's economy is much better than it was a few decades ago, and people's living conditions have improved so much, but why is it so rare to see people with fit and healthy bodies walking down the street? While Chinese people either seem to be too fat or too thin. And this poster, James, has this to say on Weibo.com. People might assume that the Chinese are good at sports, while considering how many medals we will won at the Olympics. But the fact is that the Olympics has almost nothing to do with us ordinary people, while few people actually do any exercise. And many net users have voiced their concern at the physical state of Chinese youths today. Well, like this poster, Jin Yali, who says, I saw reports saying that some colleges were planning to cancel the mandatory military training for college freshmen due to the sudden death of one student during one exercise. Well, that shows just how weak today's youth are.
Okay. Well, Julia, one thing that net users have touched upon is that few Chinese people actually do any exercise by themselves. So do people think that this is the main reason for the weak physical fitness of Chinese people, or are there other factors as well?
Well, there are indeed many who feel this is a key reason, and net users have given several reasons for this, like this poster who says on QQ.com. Well, it's simple. People are too busy. The city is booming, which means that it takes hours to commute from your house to the workplace. While many people have to work overtime due to pressure at the office, and people with children have to take care of other children after work as well. After all that, who has the energy to go to the gym? Well, another poster on Zhihu.com has this rather creative idea. And he says, while foreigners think that your health is determined by your exercise, Chinese people think your everyday diet is more important. Well, meanwhile, some posters think it has to do with the fact that the high school gym classes haven't piqued the interest of the students, like Lin Yu, who says on Baidu.com. Well, for most Chinese schools, gym classes are rather boring and just involve events like running and the long jump. By contrast, the gym class at the schools in the US involves all sorts of activities like adventure sports, team sports, and so on.
Okay. Well, Julia, what do people think about the State Council's health drive that was supposed to see at least 1/3 of China's population undertaking 30 minutes of exercise 3 times a week? From the comments that we've seen so far, that does seem somewhat fanciful. So what do net users think about the government's efforts to get people fit and active?
Well, from the comments I have seen, I have to say that many have put the blame on the government, saying that they haven't done enough for their people. Well, Yang Liu says on Tencent.com, the government hasn't invested much in building public gyms for us. Well, most schools don't have their own sports fields, and they have to use public facilities instead. And we have to spend our own money if we want to exercise. For example, it can sometimes take $100 to rent a football field in order to play a game. And this poster, Xiang Xin, has this experience to share on Weibo.com. My daughter wants to learn to play basketball, but even after searching the whole county, I couldn't even find one basketball court that was available. I felt so sorry for her. And it seems that even after millions of dollars of funds from the country's sports lottery were used to construct public sports clubs and facilities, well, net users still aren't satisfied with the result. Like this poster, 公民的觉醒, who has this observation on xcard.com. Well, if you want to know facilities the government have built for us, look at those yellow or blue so-called exercising facilities in the parks and apartment compounds. Well, they might be useful to elderly people, but young people won't be interested in using them. And finally, I'd like to wrap up with this post from tieba.baidu.com saying, well, for the government, investing in specialized Olympic sports is a much more attractive proposition than investing in exercise facilities for the general public. Well, the medal hauls from the last few Olympic Games is of a much greater importance to the government than a slight increase in the physical condition of ordinary citizens. As long as the local governments continue to compete among themselves to see which province accounts for the largest amount of Olympic medals, well, we can't honestly expect them to install facilities that would improve our physical well-being.
Okay, thanks, Julia. And that was China Take researcher Julia Liu with some views on how and why the fitness of Chinese people today has declined. Next up on China Take, some of the top trending phrases on China's most popular search engines.